Hi everyone, this video is just an introduction to the first case study that you're going to have to do for us. As promised, I said that I would bring you through it in class and that we would do it together. It's due for submission on the 5th of November 2017. Its weighting is 10% of the overall mark, so it's not that heavy. This is really just a case study to get you started. And the topic is a fake business called Jones's Photography. The method of submission is through the ePortfolio, so you need to set up a link there, like I showed you with earlier videos, how to set a link to other URLs or other pages on your website. If you have any questions at all about this, please don't hesitate to ask. You can drop me an email or you can contact me on Google Classroom, whichever is easier for you. Okay, so the case study is really short. I've uploaded it onto Google Classroom, so you can have a look at it there. It's not even a page long. It is very, very short. The output is that you need to create a website of maximum 4 web pages. There's a homepage, a gallery, so showcase photos of your choice, contact us, and another page of your choice. And you need to tell the story through the website. Now, you can pick other platforms or you can stick with Weebly for now, whichever you prefer. Really what we're going to do in this video is break it down. So we're not really going to go near any web building platforms at the moment. We're just going to break it down to figure out, okay, what is relevant towards building a website for a business. One of the challenges of building a website is finding out exactly what it is that's relevant, because you don't want the website to be too full, to be too colorful, or to be very difficult on the eye. What you really want is an attractive website that provokes some kind of an emotion in the person who's looking at it, and that will lead them to just keep coming back to it. Okay, so your website for a business should be to promote the products or the services, or to perhaps sell services or products. So this particular case study is on a business called Jones's Photographs. It is a fake business, so don't worry, you're not going to be developing this for real. So Jones's Photographers are a family-run business in existence since 1973 and based in Gorey, County Wexford. Joseph Jones was born in 1945 in Gorey, County Wexford. He began his photography career at age 8 when his father showed him how to use the very modern Ilford Advocate 2 35mm wide-angle camera. From then on, his love of photography grew, and he eventually became a freelance photographer for newspapers in the 1960s and 70s. He specialized in social and portrait photography. His photos were always the ones in the social pages of magazines and newspapers, specifically Woman's Way and the Irish Independent. He was well renowned for his ability to capture personality in a photo and won national awards for his work from the Press Photographers Association of Ireland in 1969 and 1971. Okay, so straight away we have a lot of background information about the company itself. So obviously this text would not go onto the website. You need to think about, okay, so what kind of an ambiance should this website have? How should the person who is reading about this family business, how should they feel? So just this paragraph tells us that this business goes back years, and that the photographs that Joseph Jones would take was social and portrait photography. So you can see that people were of interest to him. His photos are always the ones on social pages of magazines and newspapers, specifically Woman's Way and the Irish Independent. So when you think about businesses today, the fact that they've been around for a number of years and have gone through possibly multiple recessions and survived shows a strength in the business model and in the business itself, and possibly in the area in which they are selling or selling services or products. So you really want to get across that this is a very solid business, that people who use this particular service or product, that it will be guaranteed for them that it will work and that it will work well. So you need to somehow get this particular piece of history around or across on the website. So if we were to break it down, so we know County Wexford is a very picturesque area, as is Gorey. We know what camera it started out with. So you have perhaps some level of history there that you could show through photographs. So the 1960s and the 1970s was a particular era that would have been quite social, quite experimental. Perhaps you could find some social or portrait photography that you could use on the website. Woman's Way and the Irish Independent were very popular forms of media back then. And he has won many awards. So think about how you can get that across, possibly in an About Us section. It wouldn't necessarily be on the homepage, but it could be, this complete section could be your About Us. So in 1973, Joseph set up his own business in Gorey, County Wexford, Jones's Photographs. He specialised in wedding photography and other family events. In 1990, his 17-year-old son John began to study photography, and by 1996, he'd become partner in his father's business. John travelled the world and specialised in landscape photography, specifically the 8 Wonders of the World. He published a book in his collection of work that captured Colossus of Rhodes, Great Pyramid of Giza, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, Lighthouse of Alexandria, Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, Statue of Zeus at Olympia, Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. In 2005, Joseph Jones passed away and left behind him a legacy of photographs and unseen negatives which remain in storage until recently. So again, we have some more recent history about the upcoming generation of the Joneses family, who continued their career in photography, a different type of photography, but still nonetheless photography. So it's gone from being portrait and social photographs of the swinging 60s and 70s into suddenly setting up his own business and into wedding photography, and then his son then specializing in landscape photography and specific shots of the 8 Wonders of the World. When Joseph Jones passed away, he left behind him a legacy of photographs and unseen negatives which remained in storage until recently. So you nearly get the feeling there that these photographs were suddenly found, and what can they do with them? How can they use them to promote the business? How can they use them to promote that ethnicity of the business? Exactly how would this appeal to a potential audience? So already we see 3 different stages of photography. Social, we see weddings, and now we see landscape photography. And then it moves on. So then John's daughter, Valerie Jones, who would now be the granddaughter of the founder of this business, Joseph Jones, who started studying photography in IADT, coincidentally, in 2013, she joined the business as a freelance photographer. Valerie's interest in photography is abstract and creative, a very different approach to her father and grandfather. So here we see a 4th prong coming into the business. So we've got social portrait, weddings, landscape, and now abstract and creativity. So again, how can that be depicted in a business? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to copy and paste all of the text that's in the case study. You want to use photos to communicate this, or perhaps videos. You want to use images. You want to use a font or a theme that is appealing to the potential customer's eye. So remember, a website is about attracting customers, and it's about attracting businesses and not being left out. So this website needs to somehow showcase those 4 different areas of photography, the 3 different generations of Joseph, John, and Valerie, and showcase their work. Okay, so then if we go on to read, the business, Jones's Photographs, has 2 full-time photographers and 2 part-time freelance photographers working for the business. They specialize in weddings, christenings, birthdays, and other family events. Local work keeps them busy, but with the new generation of photographers, Valerie wants to test the market to see if there is a requirement for abstract photography. She feels that the only way they can do this is by creating a website that will showcase the work of the business. So here we have it going from kind of standard local photography of family events, weddings, christenings, birthdays, and so on. And the new generation of photographers want to see, okay, is there any point in actually showcasing their creative side, their abstract side, and how can that fit in to the overall website? You can assume that there is no existing website for Jones's Photography and that you are starting this from scratch. You can be as creative as you need to be. Everybody's website will be different. Don't work on the basis of what other people are doing. Think about this yourselves, and think about that if you were a consultant for this business, how would you get all of that information on site? So obviously you can't put it all there, otherwise the site would just be too full. So we need to discuss in class over the next week or so about how this can be communicated, what kind of imagery could be used, and what kind of features and functionality would you like to see on the website, what technical side needs to exist, what themes would suit, and what website builder platform would be most appropriate. So the output, as I said, it is straightforward enough. Maximum 4 web pages for a website. You need a home page. You need a gallery to showcase photos of your choice. You need a contact us page and another page of your choice. So how can you engage your potential consumer? How can you market this particular business online? You need to tell the business story through the website. And we will talk about this in class next week. Thank you. I will see you soon. Bye.